Alrighty, folks, we got a new release review for you today. But before we get to that, let's just take a moment to acknowledge that yes, your Texas Aggies are the number one team in the SEC after their resounding defeat of the LSU Tigers last night. Back to the music. Back to your regularly scheduled programming. The best of Rory Gallagher at the BBC. This came out, 2 CD compilation. This came out 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, almost 3 weeks ago. Let me go ahead and show you what's going on in here before I start rambling on and on. There's your disc right there. Cool little band shot in the back there. So yeah, this came out almost 3 weeks ago. And then 1 week later, they released one called Rory Gallagher at the BBC, which had 18 discs and 2 Blu-rays. Now, I would love to get that, but that thing's $200. Maybe somebody will get it for me for Christmas. More band shots here. Yeah, like I said, it is 18 CDs and 2 Blu-rays, so there is value there. But $200, quite a pretty penny to spend. So I just had to settle for the economic version. This is taken. All of the songs on here are taken from that 18 disc monolith. The first disc is just a compilation of different songs, and then the second one is an entire show live at the Venue UK, 20 September 1979. Now the BBC, if you know the BBC, live at the BBC, sometimes live at the BBC means they're live in studio playing the songs, which is what the first disc is. There's 11 tracks on there. You got some good ones on here, though. Cradle Rock, Back of My Stomping Ground, I Wonder Who, Tattooed Lady, Bullfrog Blues, I Could Have Had Religion, Walk on Hot Coals, Messing with the Kid. So it's quality track listing there. Then CD2, like I said, it's all one show, live in front of a crowd, so it's definitely the better of the 2 CDs, in my opinion, because, you know, the crowd really feeds off Rory, and he's a great performer. On this one, you get Shin Kicker, Last of the Independents, Mississippi Sheiks, Out on the Western Plain, As the Crow Flies, Cruise On Out, bunch of good ones on there. A couple of notable exceptions. No Catfish Blues, no Too Much Alcohol. But, I mean, for a 2 CD set, this thing's pretty packed. If you don't know who Rory Gallagher is, his name's supposed to be pronounced Rory Gallagher, but being American, I brutalized his name. And I've tried saying Gallagher, it's too hard. I've said Gallagher for so long, it sounds wrong when I say Gallagher. Started off in a band called Taste in the late 60s, and then decided instead of rock blues, he wanted to play blues rock. And so he went solo. And that's what he did until 95, when he passed away from liver failure. It was brought on by alcohol, steroids, paracetamol. Though he actually got an infection waiting on a liver transplant. A lot of people think it was alcohol that killed him, but it was a combination of many things. So anyway, growing up, I always heard the name Rory Gallagher, but I knew no one who listened to Rory Gallagher. they never played Rory Gallagher on the radio. But you would hear people like Brian May, Eric Clapton, Phil Lynott singing Rory Gallagher's praises. And I think maybe 20 years ago, Joe Bonamassa was the one who finally convinced me to buy a Rory Gallagher album. And I know for a fact that I bought Irish Tour 74 and Live in Europe at the same time. And I'm pretty sure I listened to Irish Tour 74 first, and I was blown away. So I don't own all of Taste, but I do own a couple. I own everything Rory put out in the 70s, and I'm trying to keep up with all these compilations. They released one last year called All Around Man. They released one 2 years ago called Check Shirt Wizard. So there's always stuff coming out, and I just saw when I was looking up stuff that they just released a 50th anniversary of his debut, which is a 2 CD set, and they released a 50th anniversary of his second album called Deuce, which is a 4 CD set. So it's tough keeping up with all of his releases, but it's all quality. If you've never listened to him, if you've never listened to Rory Gallagher, I would say start with Irish Tour 74 and Live in Europe. I mean, this is quality right here. This is easily a 9 out of 10. But those are his apex live albums. His live material is his apex material, even though his studio stuff's top notch too, but he really shines live. He's a great player, great guitarist, got a great voice, really knows how to work the crowd too. So, Rory Gallagher, the best of Rory Gallagher, the best of Rory Gallagher at the BBC, 9 out of 10. You guys have a good one.